Now let's move to differential self-training. Differential might seem similar to differentiated, where the coach or the teacher adapts his training method or style according to the student or to the athlete, but here we're talking about the way we choose the continuation of a sequence from a critical point and on. We do this again to increase the ecological validity, because if you think about it, it doesn't make much sense to make predetermined drills only, and when you go to play, you will have to choose based on the success of your previous strokes. So, if you just do predetermined strokes, that is, for example, blocked, serial, and even more towards practice, the problem is that this doesn't have ecological validity, because the competition is not like that. If you do random practice only, the problem is that, okay, you as the coach know how to feed, hopefully, the ball to the athlete, but the athlete has no way to build his game, to take initiative or to know what's next according to his previous strokes. So this way, using differential training and differential self-training, we make a more responsible athlete, we make an athlete that has much more initiative, an athlete that is not sleeping while playing, just having his body executing, but he has to actively think what's next and how to produce results based on his performance and not just based on how he's fed the ball. So, let's see differential training first. Differential training is a form of drill making in which the previous acts define the acts that follow. Let's take an example. We have created a drill that eventually leads to a forehand drive down the line. So before that, there could be 1, 2, 3, or more strokes. Okay, but eventually we come at a forehand drive down the line. And we say, look, if you succeed, so if you hit, for example, the area that we have designated, then you will hit a forehand drive winner to B, to the target placed in area B of the court. But if you fail, if you hit the net, if your ball is out, if your ball is not in the designated area, then you will have to hit something else next, which would be a backhand lob in this example. So this is much more realistic, and it makes the player actively think and participate in the drill. In the differential self-training, now the athlete, on top of everything else, they have to take the initiative, as is the case in games. But you have, what's the point? You have decreased the degrees of freedom, so it's more easy for the athletes to do it. It's not playing, okay? It's structured practice, where if we take the same example, now it's like you reverse the roles. So after hitting some strokes, you have come to forehand drive. So you say, if you hit the forehand drive down the line, if you choose to hit it down the line, then if the athlete chooses, it's his choice, then the coach will feed for a winner. If the athlete decides otherwise, so for example, a second choice would be cross court, okay? A cross-court hit. But if the athlete chooses a cross-court hit instead, then the trainer will feed him for a backhand lob. But that is the athlete's decision to make. So he will be the judge of what will come next, not the trainer. So he will have the initiative, and he will have the opportunity to discuss with the coach why he made this or that choice, or he will, as I've told you before, the best teacher is our own selves. So maybe I feel as an athlete that I want to train this a bit more. So I will have a way to instruct my trainer to feed me this way. Okay, so it's like an interactive lesson. And as you understand, this is just the mechanism. This has no end. You can make any adaptation of this, okay, and really make an interactive training session with your athletes. This way, your athlete will be able to understand what a consequence of an action means and what an option means. For example, if I hit a bad stroke, then there is a consequence. For example, maybe the next shot, the next feeding will be a ball with a ball that is very hard to reach. Okay, so it's something like a punishment or a micro punishment. Okay, or something like a consequence, or it's understanding the difference between different actions. So if you take into consideration this second parameter, understanding how each action corresponds to the next one and affects the next one, you can also develop their feeling and their emotions about their decisions on court and their acts on court. If you just do blocked or random practice or even serial practice, they don't really make this connection, but you should make this connection deliberately, consciously, and the athlete should start understanding that doing stuff means different consequences or different effects or different outcomes. Okay, so you connect the drill to the playing.